Skeet, skeet, skeet. Welcome. We're going to talk about cum this week. Get ready. Lots of talk about getting that sweet dick wet. Lots of talk about busting old Hyman McGee. Lots of talk about popping that triple cherry.
Nice
Welcome
recovery.
to, that's right, the franchise. I'm your host, the V Train for virginity, or the Skeet Train for cum. Whatever you want.
All
Listen,
right.
I already used double D Train on Species. I can't reuse. Henry, we're talking about the American Pie films this week thanks to franchise patron William Anastasiou, who has gone to the $100 tier, Henry. And we said the limit is 8 movies, and he says to us, fine, cover these 8 movies about fucking nerds trying to fuck.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, episode 186. And thank you to William. He's a very funny guy. I like him. He's cool. And that is the max choice. He made the most of it.
They call that the Danimal Control.
Is that who that is again?
No, William Anastasiou and Danimal Control are very different people. But
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I say from now on, when people use the $100 tier to suggest a franchise with 8 movies, I'm going to call that the Danimal Control. He gets that honor for his Leprechaun pick from earlier this year.
And he was he the first person to do that?
Certainly the most insufferable.
Right, because we got a Child's Play winner there too. I don't remember who that was.
That was Logan Biadair, I believe.
Okay, all right. So that's
I could be wrong about that.
So William Anastasiou did a Danimal Control. Danimal Control should be pretty honored that we have named.
I think so. No, Danimal Control's in the Patron Hall of Fame, I would say.
Right.
Probably on the Mount Rushmore.
He's on the Mount Rushmore. How many faces are?
There's got to be 4, right?
I mean, we can really kind of make it anything we want, but if there's going to be 4 guys, boy, that is you better start a lot.
What do you think, Madison, Olivia, Shut Up Tim, and Josh Lemur? Maybe you want Logan on there too.
You can't put 4. You got to put more than that because you're going to upset a lot.
Listen,
of people.
we picked 4 presidents. We can't whittle it down to 4 listeners of the franchise.
No, because there's only 14 listeners total, and you're going to upset at least.
What's the Mount Rushmore of franchise movie stars?
Ooh, man!
How about that, Henry?
Guests not included, right? Guests not included.
No. I'm talking about the movies, like actors that have appeared in movies we've covered on the show. What's the Mount Rushmore?
Oh my God, dude, that's a big question. I mean, who would you even throw out there?
I would say Warwick Davis.
Oh, that's pretty good.
He's in Star Wars and Leprechaun.
Yeah, and they're both long and endless and varying degrees of quality. Yeah. Most of the Leprechauns being better than most of the Star Wars.
All right, here it is. It's Warwick Davis, Harrison Ford, Brad Dourif,
Harrison Ford,
Indiana Jones, and Star Wars.
And Blade Runner.
There you go.
Holy shit. We've done him a lot. Yeah.
So has Callista Flockhart.
Why did it have to be missionary?
Oh, boy. And obviously number 4 on the list, Jason Biggs. Let's talk about him. American Pie.
Yeah,
Henry, did you see the original American Pie in theaters?
No. I did gleefully watch it when it was on, I believe it was probably on HBO. I remember watching it in like 2000 or 2001. Remember had a good time. Didn't think it was some kind of great masterpiece or cultural milestone. I distinctly remember reading an article where Spike Lee was talking very bad things about it, saying it was basically a piece of shit and why this is what cinema has been reduced to. For some reason, I'll never forget that. American Pie 2, I did realize upon this viewing I never saw.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is an exciting show. Now, I saw both of these in theaters. I did think they were masterpieces and culturally important. I owned them both on VHS.
Yeah.
And I watched the
You were
fuck.
the perfect age you were.
Oh, certainly. I was 13 when the first American Pie came out. I was already getting boners. I was already probably looking up celebrities nude on the internet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
1999 internet.
Yeah,
Very-
the 1999 internet. I was slowly watching those Shannon Elizabeth boobs fucking materialize on my screen. Yeah, this was look. It was important to me. I was starting high school. I related to one of the characters heavily, and I was a fan of this movie. But I have not seen it in years. I never rebought it on DVD.
Oh.
So this was a fun watch for me because on the one hand it was very, very familiar, and on the one hand it was not. And the entire time I was watching it, in my head, I'm thinking of my friend Eric Nelson, franchise patron.
Yeah.
Now, we were on Coke once, Henry,
Okay. All right.
and we got into a long conversation about American Pie. And me, having not seen it in a long time, was just like, hey, what a great movie. Loved every second of it. Hilarious.
Right.
A coming-of-age film for my generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, Eric responded by saying, like, I never liked it because of that part where they put that girl on the internet naked without telling her. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's a charming, funny sequence. What a great set piece. And Eric's like, watch it again, dude. And so I've had that in my head for like years since that time we did Coke. And rewatching it, of course, he is correct. That is abominable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's one of those things that's I guess of its time. I feel like the thing that is interesting about the movie right off the bat, before we even get into it, is that surprised me on a rewatch was, besides that part, there was a strange little bit of innocence to this movie. It's not like a mean-spirited movie. It's not like a lot of these teen things where it's kind of just this nicer movie. I mean,
it's
I'm not
going
talking about
no.
dirty,
It's going
yeah.
for like a Hughesian coming of age vibe, like trying to like actually get at like the emotions you feel in high school going into college. I wrote a movie once with Nathaniel about going into college, like the summer before your first year in college or whatever, and so this is well-trodden territory for me.
Yeah.
It is. There's an air of innocence about it. The other amazing thing to me going into this, real quick, is just I remember how lauded the casting was for this movie. Like all of these there were like 10 actors you like didn't know and were like new to movies, and they were all supposed to be huge. And has Natasha Lyonne had the best career of any of these people?
I would have to say yes, right? I mean,
they're all gone now.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, some of them had a few years more of shelf life.
No, I mean, they all did. I feel like every one of them lasted until about 2004, 2005.
Right.
Like, Biggs was getting big roles. Tara Reid was. Shannon Elizabeth was. Chris Klein was. And now you see them, like, guest starring on network TV shows and shit.
Yep. Natasha Lyonne is...
Suvari had a career going.
Yeah, I mean...
She was in a Best Picture winner.
Yeah, this was the same year as American Beauty. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. Leone has just always been going strong, man.
Did you know that Suvari has the record for being in the most movies with the word American in the title? That's not a joke.
Really? What else is she in?
Because American Beauty, all the American Pies, and then I feel like there's a couple of other ones, like a couple indies she's been in with that word in the title.
American Gigolo. She plays the baby in the carriage.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. What else you got?
American movie. She's they try to recruit her to be part of their movie.
Sure,
an American movie.
In American Werewolf in Paris, she plays the Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower has more charisma. All right.
Then Mina Suvari. Listen, come on. Mina Suvari is the least of our troubles going into this.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is true. Acting wise, yeah.
Okay, I desperately want to talk about these movies. Let's get into it. The first, American Pie, baby. It comes out July 9th, 1999. I am there. Opening weekend. They promoted the fuck out of it. It was supposed to be like this year's There's Something About Mary or whatever, but for teens.
Right.
A small budget of $11 million, Henry. And
that should go, yeah, sure.
And it made $235.5 million.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow. God damn.
This movie came to us from young Adam Hers. Okay?
Yeah.
You familiar with this guy?
No.
He hasn't really done much. He wrote,
really?
He wrote the first 3 American Pie movies, and that's the entirety of his fucking filmography.
Wow. Yeah, not like I am. I got myself, didn't realize how familiar I was with one of the Whites guys.
Both of the Whiteses are very major filmmakers at this point. But so American Pie, Hers originally pitched it to studios. This was his clever idea. He titled the script Untitled Teenage Sex Comedy that can be made for under $10 million, which studio readers will likely hate, but I think you will love.
Oh.
That was the name of the movie. Very clever. Of course, it was not made for under $10 million. It was made for 11. But I think they had to pay for all those Sum 41 and Blink-182 songs, Henry.
Those are absolutely paid for.
Bought and paid for.
And perhaps their acting cameos in the movie. Yeah.
Who are the acting cameos in the movie? You mean like Coolidge and Eugene Levy and shit?
No, the fucking band, Blink-182.
Oh, that's right. They showed up. I think this movie was filmed like before they were real big, though.
Well, I remember in
I think it was post Damn It. So they'd done, well, I guess this is growing up, but it was pre What's My Age Again, All the Small Things.
Oh, all right. Okay, boy, that's a close, yeah. All right, yeah.
Yeah,
gotcha.
This film was made in those 2 years between those records.
Jeez. Yeah, so that's all a mishmash to me with this era.
Did you know that Blink-182, you never liked them, right?
I don't hate them.
Okay, great.
They're catchy.
I never thought that I was that into them, Henry. But Spotify did the Spotify Wrapped. Know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay, so they do a thing where they tell you what your most listened to albums or artists of the last decade were, okay? So from 2010 to 2019. And somehow I can't find it right now. But I will say that Blink-182 somehow was on my top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when that song came out with all the small things and that video was played ad nauseum. I was watching a lot of MTV that year, and it was a very catchy tune. I mean, I remember the porn star on the cover of the CD.
Janine.
Right? Janine, right.
You remember the title of that, the fucking album?
Oh, God. Fuck. No, what is it called?
Enema of the State.
Right. Yeah.
Clever.
Very clever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being around 20, 21 years old when they came out and me just thinking, okay, there's Green Day again.
Right. But here's the thing. I was very anti this style of music because I was a big Green Day fan. And, I at this point was aware of like punk as a genre.
Yeah.
But, I really began to appreciate Blink-182 years later when pop punk sort of transformed into this very self-serious thing. Like once I was in college and like bands like Panic at the Disco and My Chemical Romance, like they just like weren't having fun. All their songs were about how fucking bummed they were.
That's a good point.
And I was like, Blink-182 were just, all they wanted to do was fuck your mom. All their songs were about how they wanted to bone your mom. And like, that's great.
That's a really good point. Yeah, all that emo shit wasn't really around yet, or if it was, that's not what they were about. Yeah, yeah, just fun, just fun.
Fun
Yeah.
stuff, Henry. All right, so that's those guys. Chris Weitz and Paul Weitz are
Yes.
the directors of this film that eventually became American Pie. Other early titles were East Great Falls High and then simply Great Falls, which I actually think is a pretty good title, but I understand why it's less marketable than, for some reason, naming your teenage sex comedy after a plane crash that killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, I think that's probably was probably a wise choice. Yeah.
You need to get that?
No, I'm gonna let that ring. Don't even worry about it.
Okay, great. Are we going to hear your answering machine message?
My answering machine.
Yeah, do you have an
message?
answering machine over there?
Or if we were in 1999, maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great. Yeah. I used to have a John Lee Hooker song play for like a minute and a half, and it used to piss off all my friends when they tried to leave me messages because they'd have to wait and wait and wait. And I
That
made 'em
is
do it.
annoying.
That's why I did it. This Chris Weitz fella, he's done two things I really like.
Well, let me get into Paul Weitz is actually the credited director on the film because this was like they fell into that DGA thing where they don't like crediting two directors at the same time. But then they went through all the paperwork and stuff by their next movies. They were credited together. But then they split up and made separate things. So they did American Pie together. Then they did the Chris Rock Heaven Can Wait remake, Down to Earth. They did About a Boy together. Did they also do In Good Company together? No, that was Simply Paul. That's when they split. Paul goes on to do In Good Company with Dennis Quaid, our most charismatic actor.
I love Dennis Quaid.
Then American Dreams with a Z with Hugh Grant.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Cirque du Freak, The Vampire's Assistant with John C. Reilly. A movie, I have no idea what it is, but I remember the cardboard cutout stand-up in a movie theater once.
Really?
Yeah.
Cirque du Freak. I've
This
never
was
even heard of
around
it.
the Twilight time when they were like, oh, this has vampires in it? Let's make it.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Okay, he also did Little Fockers. How about that? We'll see him back again on the franchise.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And then he started making really boring Fox Searchlight bullshit indie films. So first, Being Flynn.
I saw it.
Yeah. Then Admission, which I saw in theaters.
I didn't see it.
Paul
I like
Rudd and Tina Fey.
Being Flynn, by the way, is totally fine.
Well, Admission sucks.
It's Paul Dano, Robert De Niro being Flynn's pretty good.
Sure. Then Grandma, which also sucked,
Sounds bad.
with Lily
just-
Tomlin and Julia Garner.
Oh, yeah.
And most recently, Bel Canto, which I don't really know much about, but it looks like Julianne Moore and opera are involved.
Obviously.
He also directed 12 episodes of Mozart in the Jungle, which I actually liked that show a lot.
Yes, you do.
And next up on the old docket, Henry, he's directing a film called Fatherhood.
Ooh, is that with the resurrected Robin Williams and Billy Crystal?
I thought it was going to be an adaptation of that Paul Reiser book, but it's not. Okay, so let's talk about your man, Chris Weitz. This is the Weitz you prefer.
Whoa, wait. I mean, easy does it. Yeah, but I recently saw a movie from last year that I thought was going to be middling, and it turned out to be better than middling. Not great, but pretty good, and that was Operation Finale.
Now, I skipped this because, of course, it has a swastika on the cover, and this is a rule I have now. I skip movies with swastikas on the cover.
Just totally, no matter what.
I mean, unless it's like Inglourious Bastards or some shit. Like this, the cover of this movie, this is how they want to sell the movie to us.
I don't remember the cover.
It's a pair of eyeglasses, and in one of the lenses, cracked in the shape of a swastika.
Ooh.
I'm out.
Well, it's about capturing Adolf Eichmann, the capture of him, and I'm interested in that kind of World War II stuff. So, and it was actually pretty good. The old Oscar Isaac and Ben Kingsley in there. It was pretty damn good movie. Kind of in the realm of a Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy type thing. So boring for you.
Yeah. That's the problem with me. I like movies that are compelling or interesting.
Yeah. Right, lots of explosions. Yeah.
You know, or like emotional resonance or jokes.
Right. You didn't see it, so you wouldn't know. But if you were to say, right. Also,
okay, if I might go into this director's other films.
I want you to.
Okay, so after the 3 he made with his brother, how about The Golden Compass?
Pass.
A fantasy film that tanked so bad that they're now remaking it on HBO.
Nice.
He then followed that up with The Twilight Saga, New Moon.
Awesome.
Actually, the best of the Twilight movies. And then he did A Better Life, which got Demian Bashir an Oscar nomination.
Yeah, did I see that?
I skipped it.
I skipped that. Yeah.
He's got an upcoming movie, too. It looks like it's called The Young World.
Yeah, I only care about one other thing this guy wrote.
He wrote, let's face it, he has a writing credit on Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
He could have written the whole thing himself.
Yeah, I bet. He also worked on the Cinderella, for the live-action Cinderella. He has a writing credit on Nutty Professor 2, Henry.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a writing credit on Ants.
Nice.
He co-created the Fantasy Island remake with Malcolm McDowell. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, but how was that? Did you see that?
Great. And he co-created a show I watched every episode called Off Center, which I remember aired on the WB and was advertised heavily as created by the directors of American Pie.
Wow, still going off it though, huh?
It was only like a year or two later.
Okay. Oh, all right. I mean, that would be pretty funny.
And it had Eddie K. Thomas and John Cho.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. I think it would have been funny if during the Rogue One trailers it would have said, written by the...
From the guys who brought you American Pie.
That would have been so great. That would have been so confusing to all the Star Wars audiences. Wait, what?
They could have done it for Solo, too, man.
From
the guy who brought you Splash.
Might have helped.
Yeah, anything could have helped.
Yeah.
The movie was boring. American Pie, Henry. What a hit it was. It made $235.5 million at the box office. It was number 20 at the box office for the year 1999. I'll tell you what, number 19 was The General's Daughter. Who knew that did that well?
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah.
I skipped
starring
that
The Fanatic.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude! Can that stop popping up on every fucking streaming thing I own?
I know I'm gonna watch it eventually.
Yeah, I can't. Dude, I haven't watched a John Travolta movie in eons.
I watched Gotti.
Not me. The OJ show was the only one I saw him on. That's it. Before, I don't watch him in movies.
Yeah,
ever.
but this one's directed by Fred Durst.
He's alive?
Fred Durst? This is his third film as a feature filmmaker.
I thought Fred Durst overdosed or something.
No. It's like Hollywood is like, Hal Hartley, no thank you. We're not funding your films anymore. Fred Durst, yes, please.
What an embarrassing individual he was. Ugh.
He was the president, I feel. I feel like he was the president of the year 2000.
God, you're not kidding, man. I remember the MTV Movie Awards. He was doing some co-hosting fucking segment with Tom Cruise promoting Mission Impossible 2. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Tom Cruise and Fred Durst was all like buddies with him and shit. I'm like, oh, God.
He was a star. Was he wearing his backwards red baseball cap?
Obviously.
Yeah?
I remember.
Was he hanging out with Eminem and Britney Spears and Carson Daly?
Oh, Carson.
Well, don't you remember that Eminem lyric? I think it was about Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, and it was like, you sit next to Carson Daly and Fred Durst and argue over who she gave head to first.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I remember that. Wow. Woo.
Great stuff. Henry, American Pie was, by the way, also it made slightly more money than Sleepy Hollow, the Tim Burton thing. Okay. Nominated for some awards.
Oh, shit. All right. All right.
Of course, nominated for many MTV Movie Awards.
I want my MTV
Oh, that was a good one.
I was ready.
Particularly good.
Thank you.
Can you do it to the tune of Nookie? Having trouble coming up with the tune?
Wait, what?
Having trouble coming up with a tune in that
I
song?
had to think about it. I give it all for the Nookie.
No, I was asking you to do the MTV theme. You did the reverse. You said I did it all for the Nookie to the tune of the MTV theme.
You wanted...
I wanted the MTV lyrics to the tune of Nookie.
Okay. I want my all...
Can you do Rollin'?
I don't know if I know that one. What's
Keep
that?
rolling, 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 rolling. What?
Oh, God.
I think it was in the first Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh, God. This whole movie, by the way, American Pie, there was some tough...
Oh, my
tough
God.
soundtrack.
This movie is just wearing 1999, like, on its back.
You must have been in heaven, I thought of that. Maybe you were, maybe you weren't. I don't know.
Well, when it comes to that sort of thing, I absolutely was. I mean, by the time we got to American Pie 2 and it just started with a Blink-182 album track, I was like, yes.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of that going on. Yeah.
I loved it. I loved the music in this first American Pie. I loved that I got to hear Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind twice, covering these movies.
Yeah, there was a lot of music in these movies I hated. It's not my era. Not my favorite era.
Oh, I loved it. Listen, in that first movie, like, you're like 10 minutes into it, if that, and we cut to Steve Stifler's graduation party. Or it's not even, it's just like a random party at his house.
Yeah.
And the first thing we hear when we cut to the party, Henry, it's Ben. And I'm like, I'm in. I'm here for this.
That was so upsetting to me. I think when that came on at that moment, I got chills. Not the good kind. Yeah. I figured I was in for 90 minutes of that, and I wasn't wrong.
No. Okay, so the MTV Movie Awards. Obviously, this film was nominated for Best Picture. All right. Lost, though, to The Matrix.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Jason Biggs, nominated for Breakthrough Male Performance. It was a real breakthrough for him.
Yeah, real breakthrough.
He got a lot of roles. He saved Silverman after... Oh, he was Silverman.
I know, and he'll do anything else.
Boys and Girls. What are some other Biggs vehicles? Can you
just
come up with
named
them?
one.
Oh, anything else. Got it.
Yeah, Loser, right? You said
Loser, I loved. I saw that in theaters. They go see an Everclear concert halfway through the movie. It's great.
That's exciting. I will get to Jason fucking Biggs, but yeah. What about the actual star of the movie, Stifler, Sean William
I'm not
Scott?
up to him. Biggs lost breakthrough male performance, I'm sorry to say, to Haley Joel Osment for The Sixth Sense. Who has a better career now, Haley Joel Osment or Jason Biggs? It's a real toss-up.
That is a toss-up.
Mm-hmm.
Because doesn't Osmond like show up every once in a while?
I saw him in
kinda
Silicon
fat
Valley recently. Yeah, he's fat and bearded these days.
Yeah, he might be pulling in more roles.
But
I
what
don't
about
know.
Biggs? He had that Orange is the New Black job.
I remember that. He was in the season I actually watched.
He was in it. He was a regular early on, but he remained in it till the end.
All right.
Okay, best breakthrough female performance. Shannon Elizabeth nominated.
She's very good.
She certainly busts through. She lost to Julia Stiles for 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, never saw that.
Great film, great performance.
I hear that from everyone across the board. Yeah.
Oh my God, Henry, when she gets up in front of that class and reads that poem to Heath Ledger and starts crying halfway through, I'm telling you, you'll be in a little wet puddle on your couch.
Are you being serious?
I'm being dead serious.
I know you are. I could see it. All right. Yeah.
All right, Jason Biggs, so hot at this point in his career, also nominated for Best Comedic Performance.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's funny, man. Listen, he really has a handle on this physical calm. He's my generation's Buster Keaton, I always like to say.
Look, this movie has very funny moments.
He's just Buster Keaton dripping with pre-cum.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Wow.
Biggs lost to Adam Sandler for Big Daddy.
You know what? Good for Adam Sandler.
Mm-hmm. That said,
I'm Team Sandler.
Jason Biggs, already in 1999, had some uncut gem. Know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, yeah. Very good. Very good. Did you see that yet? No.
No.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a dick joke.
No, I know you did. Yeah.
Henry, this film was also nominated for a bunch of Teen Choice Awards. Let's hear that Teen Choice theme.
Right. Hold on. I just gotta cue that shit up. All right. It's the Teen Choice Award.
Lemur, get on that. Okay, Teen Choice Awards.
By the way, show correction, editorial correction. My mistake, which has now led to you making the same mistake. It ain't Lemur who clips our stuff.
I'll have you know that Lemur, even though you made a mistake, clipped that last thing.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, he didn't send it to me.
I forgot to. Yeah, I have it.
It's with all. I got to give credit where credit's due. It's Merlis.
Okay, Merlis. Merlis, get on that. Yeah. Teen Choice Awards. Jason Biggs. Here he is again. Nominated for Best Actor in a Comedy.
He's got everything, man. He's charming, funny, talented, charismatic.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He lost to Freddie Prinze Jr. for Down to You.
Sure. Wow, what a year for the teen acting guild.
Down to You was bad, though.
The Teen Acting Guild. Is that the tag? The tag.
Well, this was a big thing at the time. The Teen-assance.
Oh, you are absolutely
right.
People
were saying like Freddie Prinze and fucking Jason Biggs were like the new like Rat Pack. I mean, what do they call it? Brat Pack?
Yeah, I got real lucky just in this year being born when I was born, because I was like 21, and so I was watching Fight Club and Straight Story.
I was too, but these were the guys. These were the popular. I remember coming to school one day, the week She's All That had come out, and all the dudes all of a sudden were like, the hot new thing is Jodie Lynn O'Keefe. And I hadn't seen the movie yet. I didn't know who it was.
This is what I mean. You were the right age, so that it was impactful in some way. It meant nothing to me, and so I'm very happy.
I think you missed out on an important time in pop culture history.
Absolutely, sure I did. I know. Yeah.
All right, American Pie was nominated for the Teen Choice Award for Best Comedy, but it lost to Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Okay, that's not fair. Yeah.
Fuck me. Fuck you. It also lost Best Villain. Sean William Scott, Henry, nominated for Best Villain. I don't know that he's such a villain in this movie. He's just kind of an asshole. He lost to Dr. Evil.
For Spy Who Shagged Me, not the...
That's right. He had Mini-Me in Spy Who Shagged Me. You have to keep that in mind.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Best Breakthrough Performance. We have again here at the Teen Choice Awards. Biggs, I will say, snubbed for this one.
Oh, good. All right.
But both nominated Chris Klein and Mina Suvari, and they lost to, again, Haley Joel, cleaning up.
Wow. Like a kid in a virtual candy store.
Now we have Best Chemistry. Chemistry. Can you guess who was nominated for the Teen Choice Award for Best Chemistry? Now, keep in mind, the Teen Choice Awards are hilarious.
Okay. All right. Best Chemistry. So they won't go with Klein and Suvari. They'll go with Biggs and Hannigan?
Nope, but you're close. Biggs and the Pie.
Oh, very funny.
Best Chemistry, baby.
No.
Now, they lost to David Arquette and Courtney Cox in Scream 3.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
All right, and those are the American Pie stats. Henry, you ready to get into this masterpiece?
Yeah, let's.
Excuse me, I don't want to reveal what I think about the film.
Oh, geez, yeah, I don't think you've done that ever on this show. Yeah. This was on your 99 list. Where did it?
I don't believe so.
No, I don't mean that. I mean on our big, long 1999 list. I wonder where it figured.
That's a great question, Henry. One that I do not have the answer to.
Yeah, neither do I. I do have that list to the right of me, but it would require me getting up and finding it.
Yeah,
so.
I have hundreds of movies on that list too.
Right. Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, I have it right here. I wonder if I can find it.
Where did it fall?
All right, we're looking for American Pie on the list. Here it is. I felt that this was the number 47 best film of 1999.
Out of
171.
Wow.
It's pretty high.
That's real high. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know where it fell on mine, but probably significantly lower.
Okay. So this film opens exactly where it should, Henry. On Jason Biggs wrapping that meaty hand around that sweet dick, watching some porno, popping a sock on his boner, and he's watching scrambled porno. You ever do that, Henry?
Yes. Yeah, that was the way to sort of get any kind of porn, especially when you're poor and
yeah.
You turn on the TV, you find the scrambled station, and yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I put on channel 68, and
Do you remember?
well, I remember because it was one off from 69, and I always felt that it should be 69.
God. Wow. Yes.
All right, channel 68. It was the Spice Network, and every so often you'd get yourself a boob. Every so often, I feel like it would fuck up for like 5 minutes, and it would come through clear.
If you were lucky.
Yeah, if you were real lucky. But you can't bank on that every time.
No, you can't bank on it, is right. You think that like 20-year-olds today watch this scene and are completely fucking confused?
It is amazing. I mean, high school students today can literally like imagine, like, I wonder if you could find the video of someone sticking their entire foot in someone's butthole, and then they can Google it and be watching that in 20 seconds. Just an entire fucking size 12 foot lodged in an asshole. You want to see that? Fucking turn this shit off and go find it.
No problem. This is probably the most confusing scene in the entire movie for anybody who's watching it now who's 20. They'll be like, what's going on? Is this TV broken?
Yeah, this is like me. I was watching an episode of The Twilight Zone recently. Someone was going to a department store to buy a thimble. I had to Google what that was.
You didn't know what a thimble is?
I just know that it's a Monopoly thing.
That's what you thought? Wow. I don't think that's a generational thing. I think that's you being a fucking idiot.
Whoa! That's pretty mean.
Sure it is. Yeah.
Okay. So the parents walk in on Biggs jerking it. What'd you think of this scene?
It's it's okay. It goes on for a real long time.
That's every scene in this movie.
Really
They're just like, they know what they have, because the American Pie movies are really a series of set pieces. The first one at least has like a plot and like character development. The second one is literally just set pieces, like sexy set pieces, and they all go on for like 10-12 minutes, and that's the entire movie. We'll get to the second one. I want you to explain the premise of the second movie to me, because I really don't think it has one.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely we'll get this out of the way. I like this movie. I liked it about the same or less than I did when I first saw it, but I found myself bothered greatly by Jason Biggs, which I didn't remember really thinking either way about when I first saw it, and finding Eugene Levy far less funny than I did when I originally saw it. And I like Eugene Levy a lot. I just think
this is all sounding very anti-Semitic to me. Are you responsible for the Hanukkah stabbing, Henry?
You know me, not the Jewish people and me. You know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Henry, did your parents ever catch you jerking off?
No. No.
That's
that
amazing.
has happened to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've told me this story. I believe so. Yeah.
One time my sister walked in on me, and I just didn't have pants on.
Okay.
And I tried to tell her my pants were uncomfortable and I took them off.
Absolutely.
But the worst time was on Thanksgiving Day when my mom saw me masturbating in her bathroom.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
She opened the door. There I am, fully engorged. It's in my hand. I looked at her like a deer in fucking headlights, and she closed the door and walked away, and it's never been brought up between us since. She might be listening to this episode, and that might be the first time I've acknowledged that this happened to her.
Wow. Yeah. Biggsy is not that careful. He's just kind of like leaving his door open. Dad walks in.
I know. Lock the door, Biggs.
Jesus.
You want to turn the sound down on that TV, you idiot.
Yeah.
First of all, you know what to do. The second you hear the door turn, you turn the TV off.
Over.
And get under the covers, for fuck's sake. He's sitting on the foot of the bed.
Foot of the bed.
Get under the covers.
This guy is not only a sexual ignoramus. He doesn't even know how to masturbate.
Well, I have a problem with that.
He literally doesn't know how to masturbate.
You know I have a problem with this. My least favorite part of the 40-year-old virgin is when he can't put a condom on. Because I just believe that sex is easy.
I agree.
I've had sex unconscious.
Samesies!
Yeah. And I didn't impregnate anybody, and everything was fine.
Yeah, I know. They do make a. This is forever. They've been doing this in Hollywood, but this is just another movie though where that's like the most fucking incredibly difficult feat to not just get to, but once you're there. What do I do? Where do we go? Then
you got to take it to the next level, Henry. This is a movie where, like, if someone prematurely ejaculates, as Jason Biggs does, this is the type of movie that's like, wait, but what if he did that twice?
Twice.
Yeah.
But it's like throwing an 11-year-old. I mean, he's supposed to be like 18 in this first movie.
Yeah, if that.
So 17. Okay, He's a senior in high.
That's how old I was as a senior in high school when I lost my virginity.
And he doesn't even know. I mean, he like needs a tutorial on how to touch a breast. And
that's in the second one, dude. He's like 19 by the time that happens.
Easy. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. Whatever.
These poor bastards. Yeah, honestly, this rewatch made me like Stifler more.
Fucking A!
At least this dude knows how to fuck.
Dude, Stifler, well, obviously he's my MVP. He's fucking hilarious.
He's not my MVP. Henry.
He is so far above my other people in this movie that it made me kind of astonished because when I first watched it, I remember thinking, oh, Stifler's funny. He's a funny guy. Stifler's fucking hilarious.
No, he's not.
He is, and I'm fucking 41 now, and I find him funnier than I did before.
Stifler is good in the first one because Stifler is a peripheral character, and Seann William Scott is very good. Seann William Scott totally continues to be very good in the second one, but to me, the first movie, with the exception of the Shannon Elizabeth set piece, which leaves a bad taste in your mouth, I think is a Freaks and Geeks style movie where we're invited to relate to and root for characters that don't have it all together and are a little socially awkward and a little bit nerdy and have weird taste and stuff. Whereas in the second one, Stifler is just presented as one of the group of friends. And so I feel that you're invited to relate to that character more and accept him more. And I got the distinct difference watching the first and the second movie that the first movie is a movie that is anti-bully and the second movie is a movie for bullies.
That's interesting. I I didn't get that.
I thought American Pie 2 was a movie made for frat bros to watch.
Really?
Yeah, to watch with their friends while they're date raping girls.
That's interesting.
American Pie 2, you put that on in the background while you're date raping. I feel that American Pie 1, you watch in your basement in high school while playing knock hockey with your friends.
Okay. I mean, I didn't feel that way at all. That's very interesting because, like I said when we first started this episode, I didn't feel particularly that either movie had any sort of mean spirit in it, and the bullying stuff in the second one, it's so ridiculous and over the top that I just didn't feel anything about it that felt impactful.
The whole second movie, they're just like, we're gonna go fucking for this summer. We're gonna fuck. We're gonna get them dicks wet.
But it's so ridiculous. I mean, it's not like, and in terms of what you'd said prior about the friends being a little awkward, I just feel that this movie is in a weird place. Like it's not as insightful or artful, obviously, as Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
And that group of friends. But it's not like hyper aware of itself and self-referential like 40-Year-Old Virgin or Knocked Up rather, where it's like you got like this group. It's generic. So you kind of depend upon the supporting characters more because to me, Jason Biggs is the least interesting character.
I agree, but I think in the normal friend group, you have interesting enough characters that you don't need Stifler just walking around coming on everything. Like,
but see, I liked his acceptance into the group because I always kind of thought
I think it makes the group less likable that they accept Stifler more in the second one.
That's an interesting take. I get that, but that's interesting because I felt the opposite. I felt bad for Stifler.
Well, you're a little bit of a bully and an anti-Semite. All right, we have not gotten past the first scene of this movie.
Go. I was just gonna say I felt like sorry for Stifler, and so when he got accepted to the gang, I felt like that's nice. They took Stifler in.
Why are you sorry for Stifler?
Because he's a loser.
He's not a loser.
He wants to be the fucking cool frat kid, but he's not.
He is.
His mom's getting screwed by Finch.
Yeah, that is the one bad quote-unquote thing that happens to him. But he's fucking everybody, and he hasn't learned any lessons by the time of the second movie.
Who cares? Sean William Scott's so fucking funny.
He's very good, and it does make... Listen, if this character was played by, like, Jake Busey, then it would be a lot less likable.
It would be terrible. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Plot.
Anyway, I mean, it doesn't really matter. They go to the fucking they go to the party. This movie takes place in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
It's odd.
Which they call Great Falls in the movie.
I would have never have known where this movie took place. It doesn't really matter.
I disagree, actually, because I've been to Grand Rapids, and it does sort of have the vibe of this movie. Yeah, which is like a little bit small town. It's sort of near water. That hot dog place is real. I tried to get Katie to take me once, but my flight got delayed and we didn't have time. It's called Dog Days in this movie. I think it's called Yesterdog in real life.
Dog.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, look, Adam Hers is from Grand Rapids. He has every right to set the movie in his hometown.
Sure, yeah. It could have been taking place in fucking Orange County for all I knew. I mean, I thought it could have been Northern California.
I didn't feel that way because I didn't feel like the characters were presented as being overly sort of flashy or polished. Like, they felt like small towners who had yet to, like, be in a big city.
Okay.
And I think partly Chris Klein was really good casting for that because all he had done at this point. Remember, he got like discovered in Nebraska by Alexander Payne. He was just like a high school student.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that because I noticed when I went through all the filmographies, everybody, Election was truly his first movie.
Yeah, he went to the high school where they were filming Election or something.
I forgot. That's fucking nuts, man. Wow.
Yeah, and Payne gave him a big break. He got a huge role in this one, and then I'm telling you, Chris Klein by that second movie, he's already on the way out. And I think you watch him in the first movie and the second movie, Henry. In the second movie, he's better built. He's tanner. His hair is shorter and better
He got
kempt.
money.
I don't even think so. I think he got some bad agents and managers in L.A. and they ruined him.
Oh, really? You think so?
And he still looks like that, man. He was on the fucking Flash. I'm sure he comes up in your superhero account, and he looks disgusting, and he's horrible on that show.
Interesting. I mean, look, I think he's a big dumb oaf. I liked him in Election. I don't think he has any sort of value or charisma.
I actually love him in this movie.
He's okay in this, but
I think the best this movie ever is when he's on screen with Mina Suvari.
Okay. All right. Yeah. They have a nice little sweet rapport.
They have a lovely chemistry.
Yeah, they do. They do. But what I mean is, it's not, if you were to pick the group of friends and tell me which one never made any more movies or anything that remarkable, I would not be surprised that it was Chris Klein.
I would be like, you do know Thomas Ian Nicholas is in this film, correct?
It's a good point. But he has a striking resemblance to the guy from Dazed and Confused, who I always confuse him for.
Which one?
I don't remember the guy's name, but he looks and acts exactly like one of the main characters from Dazed and Confused. And every time I see him, I'm like, that fucking
Are you talking about Benny with the overalls or Rory Cochrane?
No, Rory Cochrane's the pothead. Right?
Yeah.
No. I'll figure it out. I'll think about it.
Or is it Nicky Cat?
No. I'll come up with it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. He's in a great band, Thomas Ian Nicholas, so that's all that mattered for him.
Wait, what?
He's in a band right now. Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Do you actually think they're great?
No, I don't even know them.
Oh, okay.
When I looked him up, his fucking picture was like with a guitar on a stage. He's like, yeah, baby.
I will say all I know him from is Rookie of the Year and this. But
Sure.
The one thing I did see him in, I saw him in like one episode of a show that got canceled real fast, and it was a hospital show, and he was playing guitar at some like cancer kid's bedside. So I think that's what he does now. You're right.
There you go. Well, it worked for him.
Okay, so party's going, bare naked ladies are playing, Stifler's hanging out, everyone's trying to get laid, bro. And Stifler ends up drinking some cum, and then the next day they make this pact that they all have to they lose their virginities by prom night. I thought this is actually a fun movie if we maybe, instead of going through the plot, let's go through the characters' individual plots. Because I feel like this movie's structured like a TV show where it's not really one plot. It's just like we're checking in with the characters. We have like regulars.
Right. And by the way, I found who I thought I confuse him, and they don't really look alike, but I don't know why I confuse Thomas Ian Nicholas with Jason London. And always have.
Let me ask you another question. Do you confuse him with Jeremy London, Jason London's twin brother?
Oh, maybe I do. What's he in?
Mallrats.
What?
He's the lead in Mallrats. You never knew that they were different people, huh?
Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. Yeah. Holy shit. That's funny. All right. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So let's take it. Let's take it one at a time. The guy who makes the pact is Thomas Ian Nicholas. So let's start there. The Rookie of the Year himself. He has a girlfriend, Tara Reid.
The great Tara Reid.
The great Tara Reid. Now, she's been accepted into Cornell. And
Bunny Lebowski herself.
Ugh. Hey, there was a reference to that character on You, in the new season of You on Netflix.
I gave that show a shot.
Oh yeah, and you have bad taste, so you didn't like it, huh?
I'm not so much into the Lifetime type of narration over thing going on there.
Are you kidding me? The brilliant use of narration that turns that entire thing on its head by directing it at the girl and making it a you narration instead of an I narration.
It's the second person. I get it. Yeah. I took English Lit 101. Yeah. No. I watched one episode. It wasn't my thing.
It's one of the best shows on TV.
Okay.
Top 10.
Okay. All right. I back off when he says that.
Okay, so Ian Nicholas, he's dating Reed, and she will not have sex with him, and he's having trouble saying "I love you." She's saying it, and then he walks down the stairs at the party, and they're having like real locker room talk.
Yeah,
and
he makes a big error.
What does he say? It's something like, "I'm sick of this blowjob bullshit, man. I gotta get laid."
Oh my God. Yeah.
And Tara Reid hears him, and it's a bummer, and she breaks up with him.
She's very upset because, we all know guys that have girlfriends like Tara Reid and always say to their buddies as they walk down the stairs, "I'm sick of this blowjob bullshit."
All 17-year-olds hate getting blowjobs. Definitely.
Oh, man.
I feel like going back in time and telling him it's better. Enjoy the blowjobs.
Listen, dude. Yeah. Listen, my friend. Right. It's just, so he's upset at that.
You never know. Maybe she's toothy. He's feeling chafed, and he's complaining about it.
She's inexperienced as of yet.
They're all 17.
Right. I
remember some terrible early blowjobs. I can't believe I let these children put their mouths on my dick. It's dangerous.
You might want to edit that last line.
I mean, I was a child as well.
I think out of context.
Sure. No one clip that one. Lemur, I'm asking you not to clip that one. All right, so he has to get her back. That's his plan. So they make the pact. They're all going to have sex by the end of prom.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's the premise of the movie, which is more than I could say for the second one.
Yeah, and they have this pact brought on by the Shermanator.
The Shermanator, he's the little redhead kid from Angus, and
Jesus. Yeah.
and he it claims that he got laid at that party.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the movie a very long time. I thought he did. I didn't remember there was a little plot twist there. Did you?
I would have bought it. I actually think they should have made it so that he did.
Yeah, it kind of didn't.
I didn't need to watch this nerd to get embarrassed at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that was a little much.
God, he kind pisses himself at prom.
After they point out that after the girl goes on stage and says that he pisses
he's
himself.
Been saying that. Listen, first of all,
that's true. He does.
First of all, isn't she his cousin?
Oh, I don't remember that little. Is that?
I don't remember. It might just be a friend or something. But look, she finds out that he told everybody that they fucked, and that's a fucked up thing to do.
Good point.
Yeah. So fine. She tells everybody that he pisses his pants. So Thomas Ian Nicholas's plan for getting to fuck Tara Reid is he's gonna get really good at eating pussy.
Right. He gets some sage advice from
his brother, the
sexual Tyrannosaurus himself. That's right. The disbarred Casey Affleck.
I'm thinking, God, everyone in this cast. I would love to go back to 1999 and tell the cast of American Pie that one of you will win an Academy Award, and it will be Casey Affleck.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
You thought I was going to get into his run-ins with the law?
Well, yeah, I thought you were going to be like, one of you will have a run-in with the law, and I would not have predicted it was going to be Casey Affleck in 1999.
I'm sure it's all of them. They all have records. Are you kidding me? In the mid-2000s, going out to clubs? I don't think there's a person in this cast that didn't fuck Paris Hilton in a bathroom stall.
It's probably true. Paris Hilton. Yeah, probably.
She fucked everybody. I feel like there were like 3 years in Hollywood where like anywhere you went, if you wanted to go fuck Paris Hilton, she was waiting in a bathroom stall, legs spread.
Yeah, I tried, but the line was very long.
It was a long line.
It was 2002. Yeah. I made it out there. Yeah, it was too long. I just came home.
Yeah. Came home, looked for Ellen Barkin.
Yeah. And then wussed out.
Yeah. So he gets Casey Affleck says in the library at school there's a book that has sex tips.
Yeah, very strange. Yeah, he has to go to the library, search for this book, And the book is like full of like, what is this book?
Well, I think it's like for high school seniors that like learn things along the way, they could go add it to the book to help others.
That's very nice. It's a very nice gesture.
It's an extremely nice way of paying it forward. I mean, back then I was trying to hoard all that information to myself. I was trying to like maybe spread it around school that maybe my rep was I'm the only person that knows how to eat pussy.
Right.
So I wasn't telling anybody what works.
No, you wouldn't spread that information. You would keep that to yourself. So you were the man.
Else.
Yeah, gonorrhea.
I wasn't in California.
Oh.
All right, so he goes down on her. It goes real well.
She's happy.
She's happy. Oh, by the way, Celebrity Skin by Hole playing during that scene.
Okay.
What? That was exciting.
I didn't. I mean, the music just became this sort
of. It cuts to him eating pussy, and it's like, "Ba-dam, ba-dam, ba-dam, oh, make me over." It's awesome.
I need the musical cues for the songs like that. Hole, okay, yeah. I mean, I don't like that band. I know
what
you do.
What the fuck?
I don't like Hole. I'm a Nirvana guy.
It's not. You're mutually exclusive. Kurt Cobain wrote all the amazing songs on "Live Through This."
Yeah, I'm not. Courtney Love's not a huge fan.
An incredible front woman.
Well, the front of the steps that I passed her on when she was drunk on 15th Street that one time.
Yeah, I saw her drunk at Barnes & Noble once.
So did I. Yeah. I sold her a membership card.
Oh, well. I think everyone who ever bought a membership card from me was drunk.
Yeah, well, she didn't know what she was
And
buying.
I was drunk every time I sold one, so...
Yeah, she was real angry on a phone call when I was walking by her to my train once, sitting on her steps with her legs sort of inverted.
Sure.
You know that whole
yeah. She was talking to Billy Corgan. Hank, so Kevin, this character, he eats real good pussy. She comes, and they go to the prom together. And they do end up having sex. He succeeds. He's the one character that actually loses his virginity at the end of this movie.
Yeah, and then they, I guess, break up.
Well, she's going to Cornell, and he's going to, like, East Great Falls College or whatever the fuck.
Right.
And so, I mean, it made sense to me.
Yeah, it was actually a rather adult decision. It wasn't like.
Well, I think that's the point of the movie. Is like, regardless of what happens at the prom, whether they lose their virginities or not, I think they are all a little more adult at the end of the film.
Well, but I mean, in another movie, take your pick, they would try to stay together. They'd try to work it out long distance, and these guys are like, yeah, it won't work. So let's just. Move on.
Yeah, so it's good. Get up there to Ithaca, Tara Reid. Enjoy.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So that's that character. Who should we get into next?
Let's get into the Finch guy.
Okay. Now this is the character I related to.
I knew you were going to say. For some reason, I thought you might have some weird fucking relatable thing to Biggs, but I doubted that. So I figured it would be Finch, or at least you saw yourself as a Fincher.
More that people I went to high school with would tell me that I was like this character.
Very refined.
Until the OC came out and everyone switched it to Adam Brody's character on that show, Seth Cohen.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so Finch, he's a little more effete. He fancies himself a smart person, even though he's not. He wears suede jackets and drinks coffee. I never drank coffee, but I drank other stuff. And his plan is he's going to pay Natasha Lyonne to spread rumors about him.
Yeah.
So that girls think he's hot stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then he's going to go to the prom stag and fuck somebody, hopefully.
That's the plan.
That's the plan, baby. And it does go well for him. But he loses his virginity as well. I forgot that. With Stifler's mom.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, Jason Biggs loses his virginity.
Klein does not have sex. I guess they all lose their virginity except Klein.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so Finch, what's his thing? He will not have. He won't shit in the school. He goes home for that.
I understood that. That made sense.
Me too. I had a thing about that, but it was too far. It was too far to go home from my
Shit
school.
on the train.
No, I mean, I went to high school on Long Island. Like, it was, I need a ride from my mom to get home.
Yeah.
Okay, so Finch, I once did this, by the way. Tried to... I went about it in a worse way. Let me tell you an embarrassing story about myself in high school, Henry.
Let's hear it.
One time, I was in gym class, and I decided what I was gonna do was manually masturbate myself to the point where I had a boner by the time we went into the locker room. Okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Then I was going to take my pants off, leaving just my underwear. Okay? And in my brain, I was thinking it would look now like I have a big dick to the other guys in the locker room. What I didn't think was, instead of thinking I had a big dick, which is great information that they could spread around, they just accused me of having a boner in the male locker room.
Correct. Yeah, I could kind of see where that was going.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So that one didn't go so great for me.
That's a little bigsy.
So So instead of the rumor that I had a big dick, the rumor was I'm a fag. Quote unquote.
God, high school's so great.
Yeah, it's the best.
What a time. Fucking, oh my God.
Yeah, so it's all going well for Finch for a while, but then Sean William Scott gets jealous and puts laxatives in his coffee, his mochaccino, and then he shits in the girls' locker room and develops a reputation as a shitter.
Right. Yeah. It's funny because it's almost like nothing that Stifler actually does is particularly funny. It's just what he says.
Only the performance.
When he says it. Yeah, exactly. It's not funny that he does that. It's not even funny when it happens. It's just funny when he explains what he does.
It's because he's a perfect bully, which is why he's funny, but you don't need a bully as one of your heroes in the movie.
Sure you do. The redemptive bully.
What redemption?
I think he's lovable.
You think he's lovable?
Absolutely.
All right.
He gets pissed on, for Christ's sakes.
That's the second one. All right.
Sulu.
Oh, right. Oh, God. I thought you were being racist for a second. Then I remembered he actually played Sulu.
No, you make the Asian jokes, not me.
Stop it. Okay, so that's Finch, and at the end of the movie, fuck Stifler's mom. Did you like that?
Yeah, well, I knew that's what I mainly remembered from the fucking movie. So, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I think I forgot the Mrs. Robinson music cue. That
was good.
Sure. I mean, that was entertaining. I realized something that happened into the second movie is when it hit me like a thunderbolt. Every part of the movie for me that held my attention and that was interesting was when Jason Biggs was not on
screen. You're being too harsh on Biggs.
I mean, I don't mean to be, because I'm sure he's all right. You know, he's a nice guy. It's not like I hate him. I just every scene he's in, his plot lines to me are just not interesting. And so whenever he wasn't on screen, we got to spend time with the other characters, and they were just more interesting to me. They were more entertaining. They were funnier.
I disagree. I really do. I think we already talked about him, but Thomas Ian Nicholas is the dregs.
I didn't think he was.
It's such a boring performance, and I really think it means something that Jason Biggs broke out of this movie and not Thomas Ian Nicholas. I know Biggs is in the opening scene. I know he's the only one whose parents are really characters in the movie, but I forgot how much of the audience POV is supposed to be with Thomas Ian Nicholas in this movie. He's the one that makes the pact.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, but the audience POV is still definitely Jason Biggs.
I don't know about that. I think by the second one he definitely is, but I think in the first one it's more split between Biggs and this guy.
Really?
And I'm never interested in what's going on with this guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't really argue that much.
He's
but I mean,
wooden. At least like Jason Biggs is like, he's got an air or something. He's not terrible at the physical comedy stuff. He's, you know, his scenes are generally with Eugene Levy, which helps for me.
Right. I mean, he's trying very, very hard. You're right. I mean, the other guy is wooden, but Biggs is just, I don't know. He's just one of those characters. Everything is so fucking overdone and over the top. And
let's talk about him.
Yeah. Right. He's next.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Biggs. He plays Jim. Jim. Yeah. And he lives with Eugene Levy and his mom. And he has zero experience sexually. And he's desperate to have it. So he's really the one that's just like a series of embarrassing set pieces. So obviously there's the one where he puts stick in the pie.
Right.
Did you watch the unrated or the not unrated?
All I could watch for both was the unrated because that's what Amazon offered. So that's what I watched.
That's not true. I went on Amazon and watched the rated.
You paid for the rated?
No, it was streaming free.
Fuck you, was it?
Yeah.
That's great. I paid $4 for both of them, unrated.
You know, the unrated version I have seen because I think that's the one I had on VHS. And the only reason I bring it up here is because I remember there's a shot of him in the unrated version literally fucking the pie on like the counter at home, which is not in the other version.
See, it had been so long since I saw the movie that I honestly, when I started watching, I didn't even think about the unrated thing. I just figured this was mostly all in there. What's in the rated? What does he do in the R-rated? I don't even remember.
You just see him like stick his fingers into it, and then you see like Eugene Levy walk in. You know that he's put his dick in it, but we never see him with his pants down and shit.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Maybe you see him turn around and he has the pie on his dick.
It had to be something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, wow. I really wish I would have just streamed that for free. Okay,
so he's into foreign exchange student Nadia, played by Shannon Elizabeth, doing a very realistic accent.
Very realistic accent. She's very talented.
Do we know even where she's from, or are we just told that she's Eastern European?
I don't think we're ever told a country. Yeah, I mean, nor would it matter.
Sean William Scott keeps speaking Spanish to her, which I thought was funny.
Yes, that's yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Okay, so
Elizabeth, sure.
So this part is a nightmare. They decide that they're gonna put this on the internet. She's gonna come over to his house. He's gonna tutor her. She needs to change. She's like coming from cheerleading practice or something.
She has like fucking ballet lessons or some shit. I don't know what it was. It was like it's something that makes no sense.
She seems to be wearing totally normal clothing.
She could have changed anywhere.
She could have not changed and just done it in that. But
so
Biggs, he leaves his room. He runs to Kevin's so that he can watch the live internet video feed of her being naked in his bedroom.
Right.
And she pops her clothes off, baby.
Yeah, it's funny. So the scene is obviously exploitative. It's obviously ridiculous. But again, with this movie, it's just so hard to take anything seriously. I vaguely remembered this scene.
I disagree. I think this movie wants you. You didn't because it was 1999, Henry. Look at it through a now prism.
Well, I did. I just watched it.
Jason Biggs would go to prison. Jason Biggs in this movie is basically that character from You on Netflix.
No, of course you're right. It's just when I'm watching it now, it's so fucking.
It's because of the way they direct it. He leaves and they immediately play the song "Mutt" by Blink-182, and then it's like a montage. Oh, you sent out the link to the entire feed of the school, and we keep cutting to people, and we see Blink-182 themselves, and they have a monkey.
Absolutely right.
Then a bunch of girls, and then people going, ew. And then Stifler's watching with his little brother, and he's humping the air and shit.
It's the way it's done. You're right. Which I guess made it like, for instance, comparatively speaking to the scene in The Social Network, where that awesome montage with the music and where he is like
the face mash thing.
Yes.
Yeah. That lets you know how disgusting what he's doing is.
Exactly. Like that
because of the editing and the music and the performance.
Exactly. Like that is cringeworthy. And and this, which is like a fucking naked girl dance. I mean,
masturbating in his room for no reason.
Should be so much worse, but comparatively speaking to the network. But I'm saying for the way it's shot, it makes all the difference.
Okay, well, as someone who doesn't need score to tell me how to feel about a movie, I was able to just sort of watch it and feel how I wanted to feel.
You're so righteous. I love it. You're such an upstanding gentleman.
No, listen. It's already bad. It's already bad, Henry. But I want you to hear me out on something.
All right.
What then happens in that storyline?
Yes. She gets sent.
She literally gets her fucking student visa revoked and deported.
All right. I wasn't that invested, I guess, in all this.
He ruined this poor girl's life.
Yeah, true. Good point. You're right. This is all true. I'm just saying, the movie's a goof. So I didn't even.
It's not, though. This movie wants you to be moved by it. There's like emotional montages and.
Well, it doesn't. It hardly takes into consideration Shannon Elizabeth, so I wouldn't say it's that fucking deep. I mean, she's just a prop, is she not? That's what they make her.
Yeah, well, I mean, the big storyline is played almost entirely for laughs.
Yeah. So I think that on that level, if that's what it's trying to do, I mean, it does that. But I mean, you're taking a hyper realism view of this webcam masturbation where I just think it's so fucking dumb.
I can't like at a certain point, stuff doesn't hold up. I can't watch Revenge of the Nerds and be like, it's funny, so he raped her, whatever.
Right. I haven't seen that.
Oh, in Revenge of the Nerds, there's a scene where a dude goes into a girl's room and the girl thinks it's like her boyfriend or whatever, and he knows that she knows it isn't, and he fucks her. And it's supposed to be like super funny.
Well, we have a lot of that stuff on this show when we cover certain movies, and it's just unwatchable, untenable, and I guess and we both always agree.
Somehow Blink-182 helped you with this one.
I guess on this one, it's just it's just.
I think you should give Blink-182 your MVP.
Did they get me through it?
Yeah, I think they got. I think this was like a 20-minute sequence, Henry.
It is a long sequence, yeah. But you're right, though, the way they're always cutting the sequence to each house, and I don't know, it's just I didn't. I'm not saying it isn't awful what they did.
I just didn't find this particular sequence particularly funny.
Neither did I. I didn't think it was funny, but I just didn't get as offended as I probably should have been. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I retreated into my 13-year-old brain and was just enjoying Shannon Elizabeth being naked.
Are you speaking for me? Is that what I was thinking?
For me.
Well, you said you found it offensive.
No, I was. It's horrible. But at a certain point, I'm sitting there watching it. The only thing there to glom onto, well, there's two things.
So essentially, you felt exactly the same way I did, so this was all for naught.
Well, I just wanted to talk about it. It's worth talking about. We have a podcast. We're covering American Pie on a podcast in 2019. What do you expect me to talk about?
No, I'm just saying you were acting like it was offensive to you, but it's really not. It's just you agree with me.
I'm not offended by anything. But I thought this was pretty bad.
It is pretty bad. I agree.
All right, great. So he ends up fucking Willow from Buffy because she's a band nerd and she is DTF.
Yes. And I did remember and was waiting for the flute in the pussy line because I did remember that when I first saw it, and I remember getting a big laugh.
It was so huge in my school, Henry. People in my high school knew that I loved Buffy, and they'd make fun of me by coming up to me and saying that line.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I remember just, when I originally saw the movie and she says that line, I thought her timing was very funny. It's a very shocking line.
She's funny.
She's funny. She's very funny. I like her. She's one of the best characters in the movie.
And she's played as a cartoon in the first one, and I actually think it's kind of a magic trick what she does in the second one, keeping that cartoonish element while actually also sort of transforming her into a person.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she's actually one of the few people that gets a little developed in the second movie.
I think she's the only performance that improves in the second movie.
And I think she was. Yes, she was. She was the only character who, when I was doing my superhero count, I actually looked at her again to see Allison Hannigan's age because I was curious. I was like, how old is she? She's fucking like 25 when she does this first movie, which is like impressive because she pulls off being like a fucking 17-year-old.
Well, she'd been doing it on Buffy, man. She had practice.
It made sense. But
and she was like a child actress. She's in like My Stepmother is an Alien.
Wow, the Kim Basinger, Dan Aykroyd flop.
I mean, you call it flop. I call it secret success.
I call it never saw it.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Henry. What else do we have to talk about? Let's get into Chris Klein, my favorite part of the movie. He's a lacrosse guy, and he's known for being a jock. And his whole thing is like, I guess I'll pretend to be a sensitive guy. But then he realizes that he actually is a sensitive guy.
Right.
It's sweet. And it's a good little arc. He joins the choir. One of the worst choirs you'll ever hear in your life, by the way. I mean, unbelievable. There was like a trivia on IMDb, like Chris Klein and Mina Suvari did their own singing, and my response was like, no duh.
Oh, shit. And they're one of these a cappella choirs that sing like those dumb fucking songs that are just like insufferable.
Well,
like
the whole movie they're singing the James Taylor song. What is it?
How Sweet It Is
to be loved by you. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's in my genres of most hated types of music, a cappella.
Me too, but it was realistic. I felt like him singing in this a cappella choir in Michigan was like really clever. And so Mina Suvari's in the choir. He immediately takes a liking to her. She's cute. And so he like really gets into the a cappella thing. And I loved this. Honestly, Henry, do you want to know what I thought the best moment of this entire movie was?
Can I guess?
Yes.
All right. The best moment in the entire movie, obviously. He leaves the lacrosse match to run into
That is delightful, but
not the moment.
Not the moment. This is really random.
Okay, I know.
But I was so charmed by it. Okay. When they are doing How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You, and they finish the song, but he's so into it that he scats a little bit at the end. He goes like, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, scooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-doo-wop, yeah, magic.
You are a mental patient. That's what got you, huh?
I loved it.
That's so funny.
And I loved Mina Suvari looking at him like that was the moment, like, oh my God. Like he likes this.
That's interesting because when he did that, it took me a few seconds in the scene to think about whether he was just doing that.
Me too, and I credit the performance for that.
But are you supposed to think that?
I think you are.
Okay, because the way you were describing it,
I think at that point in the movie, we, as much as Mina Suvari, don't fully trust Chris Klein's character.
Oh, all right, okay.
And I think that's the moment we start to. And he doesn't let us down. He leaves the lacrosse match. He goes to the choir performance. I loved Jason Biggs, by the way, in the audience of the performance, going like, "Fuck yeah!"
That was funny. Yeah, that was funny. Can I just say, for the record, unrelated, I hate lacrosse.
Oh, it's the worst sport in the world.
It's fucking awful. I don't really generally, no offense to any listeners.
No, I mean offense. If you've played lacrosse, you're probably a fucking asshole. Listen, I have people in my family. I have like cousins that. Oh, 100%. It is the worst.
It's the most like upper crust fucking waspy Anglo fucking awful sport.
It is hockey for stupid, slow Americans, and they're idiots. Nobody. If you've ever played lacrosse for one day after you graduated from high school, you deserve to be shot.
Yeah. Well, you're probably one of those guys who definitely says, "Man, high school was the best years of my life."
Those were the days, man.
Dude, I used to run into people from high school at fucking bars in Pittsburgh, and every once in a while I'd meet me and see one. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? And I'd be like, yeah, and he'd be like, dude, still nothing like that.
Yeah.
That
what happened next? Did they show you their badge?
No, they just went to their boring banker jobs, and then they were,
they're all cops now.
Yeah, lived their boring lives, and no, they would have never. They weren't cops. They didn't have the balls to be.
No, everyone that was an asshole in my high school is a cop now.
Different asshole culture,
and it's so they can keep being bullies.
Absolutely. Yeah. Different asshole culture in Long Island than it was in Pittsburgh.
I got in 2 fist fights in high school. They're both police officers now.
No, that makes perfect sense. But no. These guys just sort of became like fucking accountants and CPAs and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lacrosse sucks. I'm glad I brought it up.
Yeah,
actually.
horrible. So Chris Klein, he... Oh, they have like a brief thing where Mina Suvari, they have a falling out. Like Mina Suvari asks him to prom and then like sees him like gloating with his friends or something.
Yeah, that was Ryan. I'm glad you brought that up. That was really harsh because he's just standing with those guys.
It's really Stifler doing the dumb shit.
Stifler's doing all of it, and Chris Klein just like leans back and like almost reluctantly takes a high five. Like
it was unwarranted drama. We just needed some sort of conflict in that particular storyline.
Yeah, and we didn't have enough time to go for that one.
Right. So they end up going to the prom together. Everything's lovely, and they have a beautiful night, and they don't have sex, and then they're still together by the time the next movie happens.
Finale.
Loved them. Okay. I mean, what else do you want to discuss? The prom sequence I thought was really well done. There was an Arabian Nights theme, which I thought was just stupid enough. And I really liked the band with the guy with the turban singing Midnight at the Oasis.
That was very funny. And that thought occurred to me that, like, that is not something that probably belonged in the culture of this movie, but was definitely something that Paul and Chris Weitz were probably bringing from their type of childhood and high school's experience, because that kind of band, I would imagine, would have happened more in like the 80s.
You're probably right. Yeah.
99, and so
it is refreshing funny, though, because I feel like every high school movie at this time had like the Offspring or the Donnas playing at the prom, and this one just had like a shitty prom band.
I agree, and actually my favorite moment at the prom was the one shared between Natasha Lyonne and Finch.
When she gives him a flask, a monogrammed flask. I did love that.
Very, very cute.
Natasha Lyonne, we're not going to talk about her enough because she's not really involved in any of the plots. She's just sort of there for some good one-liners and shit, but she's a delight.
Oh, I love her. I always have. She's great in these movies. I didn't even remember she was in these movies, so it was a very nice plus.
Well,
to
it's
see
it's
that.
a weird thing. Like, it's a totally unnecessary character. It's almost like somebody saw like Slums of Beverly Hills and was like, "Can we just like have her around?"
Yeah,
yeah.
give her something. Yeah, yeah. She was in Ad Astra. Did you catch that?
Yeah, showed up for one scene for sure.
About yeah.
I love where her career has gone. She pretty much does whatever she wants now, and she's always great. I loved Russian Doll.
I didn't watch that.
Worth watching. 8 episodes, dude. Banging out. Half hour.
Limited series.
I think it's coming back. Everything comes back now.
All right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right.
The most 90s moment of the movie, in a movie filled with 90s moments, was the scene at the very end when Sean William Scott walks in on his mom, Stifler's mom, and Finch post-coitus.
Yeah.
Freaks out, and then the scene immediately cuts to do 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 do. I loved it.
God. Yeah.
And then even after that's when we get to the hot dog scene where it's like to the next step or whatever. But the scene after that, we get one more little epilogue of Jason Biggs Skyping with, or whatever the nascent version of Skype was, talking to Shannon Elizabeth, and he's like dancing, and then it goes to Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken, got a drumstick and your brain starts ticking, watching X-Files with no lights on, the Delamay's on, I hope the smoking mess in this
all right.
Okay.
So for you, this movie with music included has to be sort of like, is this like your Breakfast Club?
No, Breakfast Club is my Breakfast Club. This is a decent.
I meant age-wise.
I mean, it doesn't mean as much. It doesn't mean enough to me.
Okay.
To be that. Like, I could probably think, like, there are movies from this era that mean more to me. I Can't Hardly Wait probably means more to me. 10 Things I Hate About You probably means more to me. But I do like this movie. It holds up. I probably would have given it a 4 or 5 in 1999. Today, I give it a 3.
I'm rather shocked. I'm shocked. I definitely thought this was going to get a 4 or a 5 from you.
Very enjoyable, though. I recommend it as long as you can deal with the Shannon Elizabeth thing.
Yes. Get your protective eye and ear covers.
Calm down.
You calm down. We're giving it the same rating.
Great. So it deserves it.
Giving it 3. 3 stars for me. Yeah.
Oh, 2 quick notes that I didn't get to. Flagpole Sitta. I like any movie that has that song. You know, I'm not sick, but I'm not well. And I'm so hot because I'm in hell.
Oh, boy.
Great.
All right.
And one of the best little characters who's only in one scene in this movie is during the lacrosse game, the assistant coach who is parroting everything the head coach says.
Yeah.
The hardest I laughed in this movie, I think, is when he just goes, culmination.
That was funny. That was almost like, I think the movie, if the movie would have had like more things like that.
Yeah.
There could be better.
This movie could use a little bit more on the fringes.
Yes.
They did About a Boy. And I think that is a smarter comedy with more of that sort of thing.
Yeah, a movie that I still never have seen and have been always repeatedly told I should see it. But
beautiful, incredible, badly drawn boy soundtrack, one of the best of modern memory.
Oh wow! Mm-hmm. All right, that's a big rave. So we both give it a 3. Yeah, I mean it was enjoyable. It was fun. You know, I think it's got a lot of problems. I feel almost the same about it as I did 20 years ago, which doesn't happen often when we do these things. So I think it's
well,
fine.
I think back then you were probably more aware that this is of its time.
Back then I was?
Yeah, I think even back then you might have been.
Yeah.
For me, I was just like, this is what movies are. This is where it's going. And I'm into it.
When it came out, I couldn't care less, and so it was just I watched it when it came on television. I guess I wanted to see, what is this hoopla all about, and it's totally enjoyable. But I did get a hell of a bigger kick, and I said it, and he's my MVP out of Stifler than I did at the time. Very funny.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. My MVP is Mina Suvari.
Really?
I thought she was really great in this. It made me wish she had a better career. She did have some good roles and stuff. I liked Mina Suvari for a while.
She's an enigma, that one. She's a little bland for me. I find her a tad bland. I found her bland in American Beauty. I don't know.
I think she's good, and I think she elevates Chris Klein. I think Chris Klein is as good as he is in this movie because of Mina Suvari. Mina Suvari is only in like 2 scenes in the second one, and I think you see the slippage.
He needs a lot of elevation, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not height-wise, he seems tall.
Yeah, right.
So I loved Mina Suvari. Who's your LVP?
I have to go with the lead of the movie.
Biggs,
man.
And I'll go with Thomas Ian Nicholas.
Totally acceptable.
Sucked.
Totally acceptable. I have no real objection.
Wooden as a cigar store Indian.
All right. That's good.
What's the superhero count in this movie?
Well, it's a long cast. This took me a long time. There's a first one. It's got a 9 count.
Okay. I'm ready to hear it.
Second one, only a 2, so that was a relief. So here we go, folks.
MILF.
By the way, is this a movie where... Boy, I sound like an old
It popularized the word MILF. It did not create it.
All right. I didn't think... I was like...
It was the first place I ever heard it.
It probably was the first place I ever heard it, too. All right. Jason Biggs played Leonardo in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. You knew that. Wow. All right.
He's a good Leonardo.
Yeah. Chris Klein.
Oh, The Flash. He was so bad. He was like the main villain in that Flash season. That he was so bad that like halfway through the season they like gave him like a grown-up niece, and they were just like, she's gonna be the villain now.
Really?
Yeah.
He played Cicada.
Yeah.
Cicada.
You know those bugs that make that noise?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was like you'd hear that noise, you turn around. There he is.
Oh, all right. You say cicada, I say cicada.
Right, I say it correctly, you say it incorrectly. Let's call the whole thing off. Go ahead.
It's not really it's debatable. Tara Reid was Lola Bryn in The Crow, Wicked Prayer.
That's right. And she's also, I mean, it should count, she's fantastic in the Sharknado films.
She's April Wexler.
That's right.
Yeah.
Come on, she gets eaten by a shark and gets half her limbs replaced by like cybernetic things.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I'm saving Sharknado viewings for the show. And I actually counted this because I figured it is based on a comic book. I haven't watched it, but she's in The Boys.
Oh, that is a superhero thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Tara Reid's in The Boys?
Yeah, she plays She plays herself.
Yeah, she probably gets killed.
Yeah. Mena Suvari played Killer Frost in Justice League Action.
Interesting. That's a legit character.
Yeah. Natasha Lyonne. I think I remember her in this. Played Summerfield in Blade Trinity.
Ugh, they've got to get her in the Marvel universe.
How
is she not like Captain Marvel's best friend or something?
You know, what would be even cool? She wouldn't do it, but it would be even cooler to not relegate her to be the best friend.
You're totally right. Listen, right? How about this? How about this, Henry? Love interest to Rocket Raccoon.
We're not going to make her the best friend. We're going to make her a
love interest. But she could also join the Guardians.
I want her to get a fucking role.
Okay.
Who could
so what superhero?
Squirrel Girl.
Great. Love it.
She's in Blade Trinity. That's it. Yeah. Oh, what superhero? Squirrel Girl. Christina Milian.
She's in like 2 seconds of this movie.
Well, she counted. She's Rachel Davenport in Smallville.
Great.
Eden Riegel.
I don't know who that is.
She's in American Pie, playing a character named Sarah. I recognize her face.
Oh, I think she might be the one where Stifler's trying to bone her, and then he drinks Thomas Ian Nicholas's cum.
I believe you are correct. She played Nanami Ota in Marvel Anime's Iron Man.
I don't know if that's correct casting.
Yeah. And only a couple more. Eli Marienthal, who played Little Stifler, Stifler Jr. He was in Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, playing Robin.
Sure.
Makes sense. And he plays Dak in Batman Beyond.
Dak. It's a futuristic name.
Probably, yeah. Very much. And what do we got? All right. So lastly, we got one more to go. Boy, does this guy in a lot of stuff. Clyde Kusatsu, who played the English teacher in this.
Mm-hmm. He's in one scene.
Right. Yeah. Well, he played Wong in the 1978 Doctor Strange.
Wow. How about that?
That's a pull. I was happy with that. My eyes almost missed that.
He looks sort of like the dude that plays Wong now.
It's racist.
No, it's not. It's accurate. Yeah.
Benedict Wong, you're talking about.
Yeah.
He was also a public affairs officer in the New Adventures of Superman. God, this gets so.
Hurry up.
What is the point? There's no point at some
Listen,
point.
we recorded somehow our longest episode ever on Jingle All the Way last week. I do not want to beat it with American Pie.
Is that a fact?
I think it might be. It's 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Wow. Harry Potter still was the record holder last I looked, but maybe that beats it. All right. He plays Karnak in the Fantastic Four, Dr. Cornell in Superman the Animated Series, Mr. Fong in Batman Beyond, Japanese ambassador in Justice League. He's in Hellboy. He's in Spectacular Spider-Man. Boy, he's in a lot. That's it for Clyde.
Great.
I'm done.
American Pie 2.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. It comes to us 2 years later, Henry, not the magic number, unfortunately. Not a lot of time to come up with a premise. They're just sort of like, it's the summer again?
Yeah, it's money-making time.
Yeah. So we have a new director, J.B. Rogers. He was the AD, the first AD on American Pie. That's how he got the job. He also was the first AD on a lot of Farrelly Brothers movies, and he had done There's Something About Mary and whatever. And that's what he's still doing. He was the first AD on Green Book, which, as you remember, is a Farrelly Brother movie.
Oh, my. Boy, so James B. Rogers took a back seat. He made his one shot in the spotlight. And now
he had a couple spots. 2001 was the year of his life, Henry. He got hired to do American Pie 2, and also the Farrelly Brothers produced a movie for him to direct, Say It Isn't So, with Chris Klein. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he worked with Chris Klein twice in 2001, and that was that movie. I was interested in it for a while. It seems like he's going to fuck his sister, Heather Graham, but then it turns out she's not his real sister, so I'm out.
I believe it has some. I didn't see it, but I remember it being notable for some sort of excruciatingly disgusting sequence in it. Right?
That was every movie at this point. There's Something About Mary changed the game. It was like you could not make a comedy for like 5 years after that movie came out if cum was not involved.
Yeah, you're right.
This episode, I feel like, has broken my record for saying the word cum.
It probably has. And that's not an easy record to break.
No. So J.B. Rogers, I mean, he made a couple things after this. We're fine.
It's good.
The movie came out August 10th. Oh, Adam Hers came back to write. And the movie came out August 10th, 2001. And this movie really does feel like the last month before 9/11. Doesn't it? I feel like it's such an innocent film. Like, I feel like movies the next month just changed.
Yeah.
These were the halcyon days. This is what we cared about.
Yeah. This was it, man. 30 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. They tripled the budget, $30 million.
That was necessary.
Probably for the actors. And it made $287.6 million at the box office, even more than the first one. Huge hit.
God.
Came in at number 13 at the box office. Just under Hannibal. Just a little bit more than The Fast and the Furious.
Ah, there you go.
Although one franchise would have greater legs. Or
I think
wheels,
so.
am I right?
Yeah.
Nominated for some MTV Movie Awards.
I want my MTV.
All right, well, here's what you're looking for in the first one. Sean William Scott, nominated for Best Comedic Performance.
They finally caught on.
They did, and he lost to Reese Witherspoon for Legally Blonde.
Unfair.
I think that's better.
He's funnier.
Okay, jeez. In American Pie 2?
He kept me going in this fucking movie.
Okay. Jason Biggs and Sean William Scott were nominated for Best Kiss for their gay kiss. The MTV Movie Awards love a gay kiss. There's nothing funnier to the MTV Movie Awards than two boys kissing.
Yeah, they're in from this. Yeah,
They won.
yeah.
They won that category.
I imagine what. Oh no, go ahead.
Okay, best line is a category that they had. Best line of dialogue from a movie.
Mm-hmm.
American Pie 2 was nominated for the classic line Jason Biggs delivers. I kind of superglued myself to myself.
Yeah. That
during
was
that
great
scene
line.
where he superglues his hand to his penis.
Right. I remember. I remember also thinking when he began to deliver the line that I knew that was the line.
Of course.
Deliver.
He lost, Henry, to Legally Blonde again for a line I don't remember. Here it is. I like your outfit too, except when I dress up as a frigid bitch, I try not to look so constipated.
That's a good line.
I mean, it's like a decent insult, but line of the year. All right, Teen Choice Awards, Henry. Let's hear that theme again. I'd like to hear it exactly as you did it before.
Right. No, it's no problem for that. Choice. Award.
You did your hand motion the same. I don't know if the song was.
We'll find out.
I guess we will. Hey, American Pie 2 won the Teen Choice Award for Best Comedy of the Year, baby.
Oh, all right. That's big.
Yeah, better than Royal Tenenbaums. Jason Biggs.
God.
Jason Biggs was nominated for Best Comedy Actor.
Oh.
Okay?
Well, okay.
And he lost to Chris Tucker for Rush Hour 2.
I'm going to go with Jason Biggs. Yeah.
I might still go Tucker.
Can't go with Tucker.
Sean William Scott was nominated for Best Villain, and he actually won that award.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a weird one. And there you have it. That's the American Pie 2 stats, Henry.
Oh, good.
Okay, let's get into this movie. What are you going to do for an American Pie sequel? Well, they went off to college. I guess we're going to have them in college. But it's the last day of college, and so they're going to then come back home to Great Falls, East Great Falls, and they're going to come up with a plan for the summer. So right away, Blink-182, Every Time I Look for You, from their classic 2001 album, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. I was loving that.
Take off your pants and jacket?
Well, see, it's a pun, Henry. It's like it's take off your pants as well as your jacket,
Right.
but it's like a jerk-off pun.
E-T or I-T, right. Jack it or Jack it, right. Okay.
Great.
Just trying to catch up.
So let's catch up with Jason Biggs. He is in his dorm room, Henry, and he is working on having sex for the first time since Allison Hannigan left him in the lurch after prom. And he's having sex with, look, it's Joelle Carter, Timothy Olyphant's ex-wife from Justified.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
Very enjoyable to see her here fucking Jason Biggs.
Her star hadn't risen
This
yet,
is what
I take it?
I'm telling you what happened, Henry. Pre 9/11, she's fucking Jason Biggs. Post 9/11, Justified.
So for her,
9/11 was actually a good thing.
yeah, I'm just saying.
Please, Lemur, do not clip that.
That's the fucking parenthetical title of episode 186. Don't clip that.
Okay, so yeah, Biggs is boning that lady, and then Eugene Levy walks in. It's very funny. He drops the beer.
Goes on a long time. Again,
Everything goes on such a long time in this movie. By the way, you made a horrible choice doing the unrated cut of American Pie 2 is actually like 20 minutes longer than the regular cut.
Yes, I was aware of that, and I just realized why you were able to watch that. I do not have Cinemax.
There you go.
Yeah, I wasn't included with my subscription to Prime, so that was why this happened. And I did notice the running time was like almost 15 minutes longer or some shit like that?
For me, it was only an hour and 38 minutes, and I think for you it was like up near 2 hours.
It sure as shit was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've made mistakes before. I'll make them again. I imagine one scene that was elongated, no pun intended, was the lesbian stripper scene.
Well, I want to get to that.
It had to be, I'm assuming. I've never seen it.
It's so long in the regular version, though. Like that.
Is it really?
That lesbian scene is like 15 minutes long.
It goes on a while. Yeah.
Okay, so Henry, we check in with the other guys. Chris Klein's in college with Sean William Scott. We meet Sean William Scott right off the bat looking up a girl's skirt. But I really think the difference is we are supposed to think he's cool in this one.
Okay.
I think in that scene we're supposed to be like, Chris Klein, why are you being a wuss? Look up her skirt.
I think he's still supposed to be an idiot who's just a fucking,
But in the first one, we were like, he's a sociopath. Why are we friends with him? In this one, it's like, oh, he's raped someone. It's fine.
That may be true. Yeah.
He's a funny guy. He's fun to hang out with.
He's a funny guy.
He can give extra money for the cabin we're going to stay at. That's what they do. They don't know what they're going to do for the summer. Thomas Ian Nicholas has another great call with Casey Affleck.
He's the idea man.
It's so weird that he's the idea man, too, because he's just like Thomas Ian Nicholas's brother. Like,
yeah.
Thomas, what a fuck. Get your own personality, Thomas Ian Nicholas. Every time you can't come up with anything to do, you ask your older brother like some kind of an asshole.
It's true. However, I did find it funnier in the second movie how that was continued. I found that very funny. It was like Casey Affleck, like the way they film it, like with like, it's like
he seems to be at like a ballroom, like some kind of an event.
Like, right. Like where he is, and then like it's almost like he's some kind of fucking prophet. And like, so it's like told in some mystical memory.
But they do that in the first one where it's like you'll go under this shelf and then open it up and the book's there. In this one, it literally is. He's like, my first summer after college, we got a cabin and had a party at the end of the summer. Do that.
But the way
that's the entirety of the advice.
No, it's true. But the way they film it, it's like he's like the Dalai Lama or something, giving some kind of amazing advice. Yeah.
Right. So that's what they're gonna do. We first Stifler has another party. Everybody gets back together, and they all make the plan to head out to the lake.
Yeah,
lake,
which looks
I assume
very much
Lake
like
Michigan
an ocean to me.
It is definitely an ocean. This is definitely just shot like in California. It bears no resemblance to Michigan beaches.
I've been to lakes. I've been to oceans. I'm sure you have too. That's an ocean. Every time they referred to it as a lake, it was very confusing. But I just went with it,
Sure. So everybody's there. Everybody wants to get laid some more.
I liked the house they were in. I thought that was a very nice house. I thought to myself,
it reminded me of the house they stay in Friday the 13th Part 3.
Oh, sure. I mean, I don't remember it, but
the 3D one.
Okay, that's not the Crispin Glover one.
No, that's the fourth one.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a very nice house. I liked it. It's very open and spacious. I feel like we should talk about the architecture of the house.
Well, before we get to the house, we get the Stifler party where he gets peed on. I don't want to brush that by.
That was really long. The girl gets hit on the head with a flower pot.
It's Joanna Garcia, who's now married to former New York Yankee Nick Swisher.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Jesus Christ. Just a font of Yankee.
Well, she was. I feel like this was like a huge release, American Pie 2. So everyone, even in like the smaller roles, is like somebody.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, then they were.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've never heard of her in my life. Yeah.
So at this party, he's hooking up with Joanna Garcia. A flower pot falls on her head. She gets knocked out. And then John Cho pees on Sean William Scott from a balcony. And Sean William Scott thinks Joanna Garcia is pouring champagne on his head, which for some reason turns him on.
Right. Strange anyway.
I mean, even if she was actually pouring champagne, I would be furious if someone started pouring champagne on my head. It's so sticky.
I had the exact same thought. I was like, so if it is champagne, he's cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. Stifler's kinky, I guess.
Yeah.
He does not get pissed on by Sulu at warp speed.
I thought John Cho was very funny in this scene.
He was funny.
The parts where he was holding his dick, trying to hold in his pee, I thought he was legitimately funny.
He was funny. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, they give the poor guy like fucking nothing.
He probably has a better career today than almost everybody in this cast.
Well, sure, he's in fucking Star Trek, man.
And Searching, which was kind of a hit.
Oh my God, he's the lead in Searching.
Yeah.
That makes it's 20 years later, so I'm not looking for an older man now. Wow. Okay. I didn't see Searching, but
great movie.
I heard.
So yeah, he gets peed on, and that's the party. Tara Reid shows up. I always hated this, even back then, that the whole thing where they say Vicky got hot.
Okay.
Because
who are they? Yeah, go ahead.
Referring to Tara Reid, and it is because she looks very different from the way she did in the first one. And it is because she is much skinnier, anorexically skinny in the second one. She is much tanner, and looks like she might have had a little bit of work done.
Oh, wow. Boy, that is disturbing. See, that disturbs me. I didn't know that because Tara Reid to me has always been like a waif. She's always been too thin, so I barely noticed a difference.
She looks like a normal person in the first movie. She does not in this one.
Oh, boy.
And she also sounds different. Like she's raspy. I don't know if she's on drugs or something. But
yeah.
I mean, it's a weird thing. They had to add it in dialogue, and it's a weird thing that they...
Why'd they add it? I mean...
Because they have to acknowledge that she looks like a different person.
Okay. Wow.
So the whole thing is like, wow, in the past year, Vicky got hot. And it's a little bit weird because, I mean, she's Tara Reid. She was hot in the first one.
Exactly. That's why I don't understand the line.
She looked better in the first one.
And when they said it in the movie, I thought I got the character's name wrong. And I was like, maybe they're looking at somebody else who's an innocuous party goer. I'm like, Tara Reid. Yeah, very strange. But that makes sense, I guess. What a weird way for the filmmakers to acknowledge that, though. Jesus. Yeah. Just let it go. I don't have to say anything.
So we set up some other romantic arcs, Henry. Nadia, Shannon Elizabeth, she's back in America, and she's doing a lot of touristy stuff, and every time she calls, we get to see her in another city, just standing in front of a green screen.
Yes, she was in New York, clearly.
How'd you know it was New York?
Looked like Times Square. Looked like right in the heart of Times Square to me.
Yep. There was a cab.
There was a cab. There was a billboard.
She was in a phone booth. There was a New York Times, one of those things where you take the paper.
Yeah.
And I wrote down there was a hot dog cart.
All in that one.
All in that one shot.
In that frame.
Yeah. So it's New York, and all the way in the background, Twin Towers.
Wow, I didn't catch that.
Oh yeah, looming large, baby.
Oh no, that's too bad. Oh boy. Yeah.
All right, so
that'd be a great cell to get, like CEL. If you could get a cell from American Pie 2, just that.
That's the one I'd want for sure.
Wonder what that looks like on a cell. Like in a
it's like, do you want to know? Like, if I had to tell someone, do you want to know what August of 2001 looked like? I'd show them that cell, that shot from this movie. One perfect shot. All right, so they get going to the lake. They play Sum 41 on the way to the lake.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I don't want to waste your time, become another casualty of society.
What do you call all of these bands that are...
They were the
with
number bands.
Whole excluded.
It's the number bands.
The number bands, because they all just have numbers.
Blink 182, Sum 41, SR 71. There were 1,000 of them.
Three Doors Down.
Sure.
311.
Oh, Three Doors Down is in this movie for sure.
Oh man. Oh. All right.
Eugene Levy says to them as they leave, "Keep it real, homies."
Yeah,
because
that was funny.
Eugene Levy had built a cottage industry at this point of looking like him and talking black.
I know.
2 years after this, you remember there was an entire vehicle built on that, bringing down the house.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah. Yeah, Eugene Levy, I love him when he's in Christopher Guest films.
I actually thought he was legitimately great in one scene in this movie.
Oh, in this one. Which one?
When Jason Biggs glues his hand to his dick and Eugene Levy brings him back up to the lake and he's nice to him in the car. I thought that was a very sweet sequence.
Oh, when he actually doesn't say something stupid and annoying and actually just trying to connect with
He's
his
just
son.
like a supportive dad. And even at the
Yeah.
doctor,
Yeah.
when
Right.
Jason Biggs is worried about his dick being ready in time to fuck Shannon Elizabeth, and Eugene Levy like asks the doctor, like, is there anything we could do? Is there anything you can give me? Like, he's being a good dad, that whole
true.
sequence.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
then he
Well,
takes
he's like
him back to the lake, and he gives him good advice in the car, and he says he's not going to tell his mom, and he reveals that he knew about the Nadia internet thing and never said anything about it because he knew that it was embarrassing.
Yes, that's true. It's true. You get a lot of reveals from the Levy when the Levy breaks. Yeah.
Okay. So Nadia's going to be there at the end of the summer for the big party they're going to have. And he needs to be ready to fuck. So he doesn't know if he's any good in the bedroom.
Oh.
And so he goes, the only person who knows what his dick is like inside of their pussy is Allison Hannigan. And so he goes to visit her. Guess where she is over the summer?
Band camp.
Boom. So he goes to band camp, which could be very sweet, but they immediately think that he's a retarded camper and throw him out on a stage to play the trumpet wearing short shorts.
That was a very, very confusing, painful sequence.
That
to
is
watch.
terrible and goes on forever.
Yeah,
and gets a reprise at the end of the movie.
Yes, it sure does. Yeah, I mean, and Jason Biggs is just, you gotta have a little pity for him because he's just
having fun.
But he's embarrassing himself. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not. Oh my God.
It would honestly be even worse if not for like a couple of things. I found a couple of the crowd reactions funny. There was that one guy like really trying to encourage him.
Yeah, that was funny.
And and Allison Hannigan lends some resonance to her reactions.
But it's just like, oh my Lord. Yeah.
It's terrible. But I would say the worst storyline in the entire movie, unfortunately, is my two favorite characters, Chris Klein and Mina Suvari. I mean, they can't come up with anything better for them to do than to try to have phone sex twice. That's their entire storyline.
That is their entire storyline. You're not lying. That's it. They get on the phone a couple times. They're interrupted. That's their through line there.
It sucks. Right. It's so half-baked.
Yeah, they needed them to, have something, and I guess they couldn't come up with anything. Or I don't know. Maybe there was some.
Maybe they could have put them in the same room. I mean, it had to be a scheduling thing because, like, I don't know. Do more with the girls, right? Like
in general.
Yeah, like
actually, you're right.
You have Natasha Lyonne, you have Mina Suvari. They're like huge stars at this point. Put them in the movie.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
Maybe like instead of waiting until the end of the summer when the party happens, you could have them like, hey, Mina Suvari's staying at the cabin for a week.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I have a question for you. Natasha Lyonne's character, lesbian? Stifler
I
joke.
honestly don't think so. I
don't think so either, but Stifler makes a joke and she's funny in her reaction. But then I was like, oh, she maybe, but
it's weird. She's a good actress, and they throw her in scenes with Eddie K. Thomas and Seann William Scott. God, everyone in this movie is just an idiot with 3 names. And she has genuinely good chemistry with both of them.
Yeah, she does.
But then they never do anything with either of those storylines.
And it's kind of funny because I felt like at the end of this movie, when Seann William Scott goes off with the lesbians, I kind of thought, well, that would have actually been a very interesting touch to have him end up with Natasha Lyonne.
That'd be great.
Crazy.
That'd be great.
That would have been insane, and that would have been so unpredictable and genuinely moving. And now that's too much.
No, you have to have a 3-way with 2 hot older ladies. I'm telling you, we're supposed to think Stifler's the coolest person in the world.
He's not that cool, man. He touched Finch's ass.
Yeah, I know. By the way, I would have done so much more than he was willing to do. I would do anything.
To watch 2 women?
No. I believe at that point they said, we will fuck you if you give your friend a hand job. You wouldn't do it?
No.
I'd jerk you off to completion to fuck them.
I believe you, but that would be hard.
Who cares?
Because I'd be like, first of all, I'd be like that if you attempted.
No, I've got skills.
Second of all,
I could turn you on, Henry.
I don't think that's at all possible. Yeah, you know what? I'll figure out my own 3-way. I don't need to go through it to these lengths.
You're 40. You haven't figured it out yet.
You don't know nothing. Good line though.
Thanks. Okay.
So is mine for that.
Let's talk about the lesbian thing, I guess. So it's these 2 girls, and they're painting their house.
Yeah, I didn't even understand the proximity of their house to the guy's house.
It looked like they were next door neighbors.
It looked like they were next door neighbors, but then there was a point it looked like it was the same house. So I was like,
but then there was a point where I felt like it was far away and that they were driving there to paint.
No, very odd, very
J.B.
strange.
Rogers, not great at geography.
No, not great. He's like you with geography. He's just poor, very poor. Yeah.
So they see those girls holding hands and immediately assume they're lesbians. And at this point, it's 2001, so to a group of young boys, I never understood why lesbians is like the hottest thing to some straight men.
Really?
Yeah, you can't fuck them. Why is that hot?
I mean, I don't know how to explain that to you. I guess we just diverge.
I've never watched lesbian porn. Never been into it. If I can't imagine a dick is mine, then I'm not interested.
I think that it's an attractive thing. Yes.
Doesn't do it for me.
It does it for me.
So these 2 girls, they assume they're lesbians, so they sneak into their house like fucking criminals.
Now, this sequence, and I don't know why, and this is before the very drawn out let's get them to fuck us scene. I found this sequence for some idiotic reason very funny. I found the 3 of them fucking around, hiding and running around the house with the music in the background. For some reason,
Jason Biggs holding the dildo.
I don't know why I found that funny, but it was just choreographed quite well. I don't know why.
Okay, so Henry likes J.B. Rogers' choreography.
His choreography, absolutely stunning. From the Shannon Elizabeth green screen New York to the running around with the dildo.
To the trumpet up the butt.
That was just nasty. That was just nasty.
Well, that was just one of these Farrelly Brothers things. I mean, we'll get back to the lesbians, but yeah, it's when Jason Biggs goes to visit Allison Hannigan, and she's like teaching him how to like kiss and do sex stuff.
Right.
And at one point during that, she shoves a trumpet up his butt, and it's for no good reason except that we want to see that old guy playing the trumpet later and go like, ew, it has his butt on it.
Fletch's lawyer.
That is true. Good call, Henry. By the way, to have sex with those women, I would play a trumpet that's been in your butt.
Okay. So you like the idea of the 2 lesbians, but thinking about 2 lesbians.
Well, I want them with me.
You want them with you. I get it. Okay, all right. So not abstractly together by themselves.
And frankly, I'll just take that one with the shorter hair and smaller boobs.
I like the other one.
Oh, well, you could take it.
I will.
Oh, we're disgusting. What are these actresses' names?
I'm sure it's important. Let's get right on that. Yeah. Fuck off.
They're human beings.
They're human beings with your objectifying.
Okay, Henry, I'll have you know that the one you like is Denise Faye essaying the role of Danielle, and for me, Lisa Arturo playing the character of Amber.
Yeah, she looks Italian, so I can understand that.
Great. Okay, so back to that. They catch them in their house, in the closet, fucking around, and then they play with them, and they do things like, you touch his butt, and I'll touch her butt.
Right.
And this just goes on forever.
It really, really does.
I wrote down that it's 12 minutes in my version. It might be over 20 in yours.
12 sounds right, but it could have been more. Wow. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, it has, I guess, the potential for amusement for a 3-minute, maybe 3 minutes tops of comedy. But we can't illustrate this enough, folks. It really drags on and on and on.
And honestly, Henry, like, after that scene, there's like one short musical montage, and then we get right into the super glue thing, which is just another 10 minutes of your life.
Yeah, and then it even has this strange it's uncomfortable with its own sexuality, it feels like, because did you catch the weirdness of when the girls are kissing and then she starts kissing her breasts? I assume that's in your version.
Yeah, that was there.
And then one starts to like get into it for real, and the other one like pulls back, and she's like, "Oh,
I think it was that they're supposed to both be fake into it,
right?" But then one gets
I don't know if I got that in mind.
Yeah, no, it's very odd because it's very noticeable. The one's like, "Hey, all right."
Well, that's setting up later for they're like, maybe we should fuck this kid.
Good point. Mm-hmm. Good point.
Maybe the two of us grown adult women should fuck this 19-year-old date rapist.
You're calling them grown adult women. They're like the exact age as Sean William Scott.
That Italian woman looks 35.
Really, to you?
Yes.
Did she? They look like college.
With the fakest boobs you've ever seen in your life.
Well, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so the super glue thing goes on forever. The one thing I always thought was funny in that is Jason Biggs trying to open the doorknob with his mouth. For some reason, I like that.
It's interesting. Physical comedy, you got the masters of it, like
Chaplin.
No, I knew you were going to say that. I totally knew you were going to say that. No, the other C. Chevy Chase.
Lucille Ball.
You famously pointed out on
Dick
this show.
Van Dyke.
I'm not a big fan, but he was very funny in the physical comedy. I guess. Chevy Chase.
Orson Welles.
He walks. Marlon Brando. Gary Coleman. He walks into the lamp, Chevy Chase, the master at physical comedy. Jason Biggs. Could another actor pull off that sequence and make it funny?
The super glue thing? Yeah, of course.
I think so too. And I don't know off the top of my head who of his age group, but it could be done. He's just not the guy for it.
Michael Cera.
He could do it.
It would be funny.
That's a good call. He's good at that. Yeah.
In many ways, Michael Cera is the Jason Biggs of the next generation.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't that a good call? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so they're getting ready for the big party. We get to hear a musical montage. Oh, Nadia's in town, but Biggs can't fuck her yet because his dick's all messed up from the super glue incident. Right. So Allison Hannigan's pretending to be his girlfriend, but they're getting along real well. And we're seeing this all in a montage set to a song from a rare female musician in an American Pie movie, Michelle Branch, baby. 'Cause you're everywhere to me. And when I close my eyes, it's you I see.
I think I realized at that point there was a musical montage, and I might have hit the mute a button.
You're nuts. That's a fantastic song.
I didn't hit the. No, I didn't hit the mute button, but I should have.
Branch was great, man. She also had that Goodbye to You. That was a hit. People used to get her mixed up with Vanessa Carlton because they looked identical.
Oh, I could see that.
Sure. Okay, so what happens next? They have the party. Biggs is getting ready to fuck Shannon Elizabeth, but then he realizes, I think I like Allison Hannigan.
Yep, he says a line where he says something about band camp. And then
he's telling Shannon Elizabeth the story of the when he got mistaken for a retarded kid earlier in the movie.
Correct.
I'm using the parlance of the film. And
it's okay if you weren't. Yeah.
And he says at this one time at band camp, and he realizes, oh my God, I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
It took him this long to realize.
A real long time. Yeah.
And so he goes to band camp. He gets that old trombone out again. I've been saying trumpet this whole time, but it's a trombone.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
And
trombone, yeah.
And then he, of course, Three Doors Down's "Be Like That" starts playing. They recorded a new version of it for the movie. It's a little slower, a little bit more lovey, and they added some strings. And if I could be like that, and he comes down the steps, and they have a lovely kiss. The whole crowd applauds, and then they go to the party together. And I'm ready for my cutest moment of American Pie 2. You know, I felt that it was Chris Klein scatting in the first one.
Yeah.
In this one, it's when Jason Biggs and Allison Hannigan are dancing together, and they start like bopping their heads a little bit.
You are deranged. This is the weirdest shit in these two movies is like got you. It's so funny. I don't know.
It's charming.
Yeah, all right. I remember what you're talking about, but I barely noticed it. Yeah,
it registered with me. I loved it.
It sure did.
You know?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
all
so
right.
then Mina Suvari shows up, and they dance, and Kevin realizes that he and Tara Reid are just going to be friends, and they dance, and they all raise beers to each other, and Sean William Scott goes off and fucks those lesbians.
And Finch gets his...
he gets to fuck Mrs. Stifler again.
Stifler's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Right, I do like that. The very end of the movie, they're fucking, and he asks her her real name, Janine, she says.
Janine.
And then she says, call me Stifler's mom, and then you can hear him come. And the movie just ends with Finch blasting it into Stifler's mom.
Oh, Lord.
What do you give this movie?
I give it a 2.
Yeah, it's definitely a 2. Clear cut 2. Yeah, this is as much a 2 as U.S. Marshals is a 3.
Yeah. It's
What's the plot of this movie?
There is none, really. It's a bunch of guys get together at their college house for the summer to have a party, and then the plot lines.
But the party happens at the end of the summer.
Right.
Like the whole summer, we're just watching them dick around.
Do shit. They're just doing dumb shit. Yeah. Look, it's not a complete piece of shit by any stretch. There are some entertaining moments. Stifler's still funny to me. Allison Hannigan is great. But
I thought the Biggs character was improved.
Yeah, not me.
Biggs, I think Biggs in this movie wins the most improvement trophy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, it's a 2. It's a 2-star movie. It's a definitional.
Ooh, I need to plug in my laptop, Henry. Talk about that a little more.
It's a definitive 2-star movie, like Daniel said about U.S. Marshals being a definitive 3-star movie. It's a 2, you know. Yeah, that's me riffing on nothing because Dan's. I guess his laptop's dying. That's what's going on here.
What happened? What happened? Were you great?
Oh, I killed it, man. I killed it. I totally killed it. By the way, I like your Christmas lights. Very nice.
I've had those up well before Christmas.
The last 20 podcasts, and I just never noticed.
Henry, fucking, it's a 2. My MVP is Allison Hannigan. I thought she was adorable and charming in this.
That's mine.
Great.
She's mine. My LVP, I haven't written one. It's the only one slot that I left open. I was going to wait till we talked about it to figure it out. Geez.
Shannon Elizabeth.
She's not bad enough to warrant that, is she?
I guess. Dude, you like that she fucks the Shermanator at the end of the movie?
Sure. That was nice.
I thought it was weird that that storyline is wrapped up by her pulling him into a bedroom and saying, "Fuck me."
Yeah, I know. The profanity in this movie is very strange.
It's a little much.
It is a little much. Like when it's said by like Stifler or some other people, it feels ordinary. But then like characters who just proclaim things like that, you're like, oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, it's
yeah. You'll be watching one of these movies, and it's like everyone's having a real nice time. He's super gluing his hand to his dick, and then someone's just like, "I want your cunt," and you're like, "Whoa." Cool, like it's American Pie too.
Yeah, it's like Rob Zombie wandered onto the screenwriting set or something. He's the script supervisor.
Sherry Moon should have played one of those lesbians.
Oh, that would have been great. All right, so who's the LVP? You didn't have one either.
I think Chris Klein's pretty bad in this.
I'm with that. I'm fine with that.
You're good with that? Let's go with him.
I'm not a fan, so it's easy for me to say that. Yeah. All right, I got a quick superhero count here. Adam Brody, who shows up briefly as a high school guy.
I had to rewind it to catch him.
I didn't catch him. I just saw that.
I just knew he was in that party sequence, and I wanted to go back and find him.
For sure. He was Justin Gaines in Smallville.
Sure.
And Joanna Garcia, who played Christy, I believe, was simply the girl in this who Stifler finds in a party and calls her another name. She goes, "My name's Christy." And he's like, "Whatever."
Sure. No, he doesn't say whatever. He says he apologizes really like he seems genuine, and then when you see him walk away, he goes, "Like it matters." See, you're laughing at that. You're mean-spirited.
He's so funny. Oh God. All right. Well, anyway, I like this credit. She played the role of Girl in the 1992 live-action Superboy.
Great. Okay, keep going.
That's it.
Oh, that's it? Fucking awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's because everyone in this movie was in the last one.
Exactly. Nice
to see Cho and his comedy partner again. I thought they were funny again.
They are. They're like a weird little. They should have had more in the fucking.
They should have done a weird spin-off, like when they did that Get Smart spin-off.
They did Harold and Kumar. There you go.
Well, Harold and Kumar is great, but there's that weird. Remember Get Smart? There was a direct-to-video Get Smart spinoff that came out the day Get Smart came out, and it was called like Bruce and Lloyd Out of Control, and it was like, I guess they thought these two characters were going to be like real breakout hits and Get Smart.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is a long ass fucking episode again.
Oh, we're done.
Great. We're fucking done.